It's me, Crystal Ballsy Queen. Get it? Because I predicted this bottom two in my last video. And welcome back to Hot or Rot. Today I'll be breaking down the little black dress runways from RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13, Episode 6, talking a little bit about that Disco-Mentary challenge, and discussing whether or not I think the bottom two was correct this week. It wasn't. But more on that later. Before we get started, I want to remind you to click like if you're excited the circus is in town, and to remind you to press subscribe if you're into cheap tricks, like me. But first, I want to say thanks to today's video sponsor, Ibotta, my favorite cashback rewards app that is 100% free. Getting cash back from the money you're already spending at your favorite stores like Best Buy, Target, and Sephora is simple. Just download the Ibotta app to your smartphone using my link, find hot deals, scan receipts, and get rewarded. And there's no need to leave your couch to use Ibotta. You can get rewarded for both your physical and online purchases. You can use Ibotta to earn cash back when you're ordering food from Grubhub, groceries from places like H-E-B and Albertsons, Walmart, and more. And the money you save from shopping at your favorite stores can be redeemed straight to your PayPal as cash money, baby, or as gift cards. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description of this video to download Ibotta and get a $20 sign-up bonus today. Thanks so much to Ibotta for sponsoring today's video. Now, without any more panic, let's get into it. First up, where there's smoke, there's Tina. Wearing a fire. Tina Burner, I have a challenge for you. Get some new wardrobe colors, please. I seriously cannot believe that she made an entire RuPaul's Drag Race wardrobe runway collection out of 3 colors. But let's pretend that we haven't already seen Tina in 50 Shades of Orange. This look is actually kind of cool. She comes out in like a wet paint costume and reveals to her little black dress that she very much has made her own, and like it's supposed to be red, orange, and yellow wet paint dripping down in the bottom part of the dress, and there's like handprints where the workers were, you know, fuddling her nether regions. At the same time, something about when she hits the runway just doesn't feel fresh, and I think it's because of what we've already seen from her. I would love to see Tina completely burn down the closet that has all these clothes in it and see her rise from the ashes, because there's a phoenix in there. I feel it. I feel that star. For this runway, this look is actually pretty hot. Oh, and that phoenix that I was mentioning, we saw her in the main challenge. Back at the disco, Mama, she was burning up the dance floor. She was such an amazing performer. She made Gottmik and Kandy look clueless up there, smoking hot in the main challenge. Next up, are we Kandy amused that I predicted this entire episode in my last YouTube video? Kandy comes out in this Comme des Garçons inspired look, which is also an homage to her drag mother Aja, which is also has the 1994 Princess Diana revenge dress painted on top of it. Quick history lesson, it's called the revenge dress because this is the dress that she wore, which was super scandalous back in the day on the night that Charles admitted to adultery during their marriage. Kandy also decided to do a little bit of like an oil spill fantasy in her hair and makeup. Not sure why she went there. Maybe it was supposed to look like the paint from the dress got into her mug, but it just kind of ended up looking a little bit messy in those areas. Like, I saw this and kind of wish that she had just done a total recreation of Princess Diana's dress and then, like, you know, made it hoe as she does with her style. It was great when this dress cut originally hit the runway back in 2012. It was great when Lady Gaga paid homage to it. It was great when Aja wore it on the RuPaul's Drag Race runway, but it just feels so overdone. And for those reasons, this look for me is going to be a rat. In the main challenge, Kandy seemed to think that the only reason she was in the bottom was because of the outfit she was wearing, and while it wasn't great, like, it was okay. You know, I think it was a little weird for them to like particularly own in on that when really I believe it was Tina totally outperforming both Kandy and Gottmik that made them look so bad. The problem is when you're being outshined that hard by somebody, I mean, girl, you gotta step it up or you just look like you have given up. It was a rot. Next up, honey, I've shrunk the drag queen's outfits. It's Gottmik, Minnie Mouse's long lost sister, Minnie Mick. This look is, bold, and I'm sure she's cold as hell. I mean, she's literally wearing nothing on the runway except a little black dress. It's very on the nose, but it's also very cool. And this is another outfit. You put this on literally anybody else and you'd be like, ooh. That said, while it is unique for Gottmik, it isn't necessarily unique for the RuPaul's Drag Race runway. My mind goes to, for example, Valentina's Censored Bars runway, Carmen Carrera's mini body yaddy yaddy runways, Coltniak's Slumber Party runway. I mean, we have seen this before, but it is fresh for Gottmik. I also love that she turns around and you see that she has a bow on her. Bussy. How did she get that to stay there? I guess you could say she's dressed to thrill. This look is hot. In the main challenge, if you play back her performance, she actually is out of sync, doing her own thing, dancing on her own, not hitting the choreography. I mean, hey, like I would have been in the exact same boat there, girl. I've got 2 left feet, but it was just shocking to me that the judges completely didn't even mention it, just glazed right over it. I wonder why. Maybe it was because they wanted the Tamisha versus Kandy lip sync. Gottmik is a super freak, but performance was a rat. Next up, it's Eliott with 2 T's and 2 tones in her hair, just like every suburban mother. Deadass, I thought that she stole this out of my grandmother's funeral casket. It not only aged her in a way that wasn't flattering, like it's pretty, but good God, is it boring? Where's the concept? Where's the freshness? Give me something to gag on. I was so bored, I gagged and choked on my own tongue, just for a little excitement. And I'm not trying to come for her too hard, but also, my God, can we get somebody to please teach her how to walk on a runway? She is stiff. She is literally a corpse coming down the runway in this look. And girl, that corpse is ratted. However, in the main challenge, for somebody so stiff, it's mind-blowing that she can also bust a move with the best of them. Like, what? She shut the goddamn door on the other girls, and there was a panic at the disco, and there was a fire burning, and it was so hot. Next up, it's Tamisha. Whoa, man. This look is very pretty. It is classy. It is elegant and excellent. Perfectly crafted. But again, we've seen this thing from Tamisha on the runway where while her look is really pretty, there's no higher concept other than I'm attending a pageant. She clearly has the ability to craft amazing garments, but I think when she comes back from All Stars, she's gonna have to figure out how to take her style beyond just pretty. For a drag queen on the RuPaul's Drag Race runway, it's just not quite enough. This one is a soft hot for me. Now let's address Tamisha Iman's performance in the main challenge. Firstly, her disco look, gag nation, literally the best one of the group. However, while she looked great, she was hesitant. And we learned why. It's because of her medical condition. She's trying to learn how to perform in the way that she once did, adapted to her new body's conditions. And my God, the confidence that it takes to enter RuPaul's Drag Race with this type of medical history is unheard of. I feel like the producers were really going and just gunning for that storyline of Kandy versus Tamisha, and were not looking close enough at how the queens were actually performing, because there was so much to love there, and she really did well. Next up, welcome to the jungle. Olivia Lux. Her look is giving me like rock and roll 80s hairband starlet attending the Grammys for her award show. It's really cute. It's not my favorite, and I do wish there was a little bit more of a concept. The sequins on the front of her dress give it a really nice shape until you hit the part where the sequins end and you're like, wait, where did the shape go? And if she was indeed going for that little rock and roll starlet fantasy, I maybe would have loved to have seen her take that a bit further. Maybe rip it up, add some fringe. I don't know. Of the little black dresses with no overarching concept, I think it was well done and she looks gorge. I'm gonna give this look a hot. Like, I'm just a little bit nervous that Olivia is going to be resting on pretty almost too much, because pretty's great, but the Drag Race judges are really gonna be looking for that extra little, you know, thing that sets somebody apart. Luckily for her, maybe it's performing, because her live performance was a total gag, definitely deserving of a win because she absolutely came to life in that main challenge. Heaven must be missing an angel named Olivia Lux. This performance was hot. Next up, it's Utica. On first watch, I was like, what the hell is going on here? Girl, I thought she was giving us like a Wicked Witch of the West kind of fantasy from Wizard of Oz. And then once she started explaining to the judges what was going on, I was like, oh, that's really cool. But like, how would you ever expect anybody to get that? Sometimes getting a reference though is not needed because she still looked great. Like, it's so insane, fresh, never been seen before. Utica is the only person that could imagine something like this. But this is what I want from a RuPaul's Drag Race runway. I want a queen's brain to vomit on the runway and make us eat it up. I don't care that we didn't know she was creating an outfit based off of her earrings, but I maybe would have liked to have seen the dress cut a bit shorter for the little black dress runway. That's my only critique. Hook, giant red lip, and sinker. This look is hot. In the main challenge, did she turn the beat around or was her performance a shame? I think this is going to divide a lot of people. I want you guys to let me know down in the comments below what you thought, because when I watched it, I was like, oh, I love her interpretation of disco. That outfit was so fresh, but the judges had a different idea of what they wanted from these disco looks. It was like only something that would have fit in a Studio 54 in the 70s would have been appropriate to them. And this also kind of lines up with their critique of her performance. She very much made disco her own, and they didn't like that, which is ironic because here we are giving a history lesson on an era that was about self-expression and freedom, and they're penalizing her for exactly that. Anyways, Utica does not enter the bottom two, and she will survive for another week, and I think this performance was hot. Next up, I wonder if she ordered this look off the deep web. It's Denali. When she first hit the runway, I didn't get it. I thought she was just doing that very cliche idea of, oh, I'm a widow at my 7th husband's funeral going to collect my inheritance check type of thing. And it's funny because that is exactly what she's doing, but she turned it into a concept. Not only is she a black widow, but she is a spider black widow. Turns out she's the one killing her husbands, and she's not afraid to show you her other eyes beneath her veil. Come a little closer. Yes. Come into her web. Yes. I also love that the more you look at this runway, you see that concept tied into so many little pieces. That Swarovski spider web on the back where her back cutout is so gorgeous. I just really love everything about this. And her 8 eyes and 8 legs, well, I'm gonna give them 8 hots. In the main challenge, we know Denali is a dancing queen, but is she a disco queen? Maybe not. Her and Rosé maybe were actually the strongest pair of the performance. Like, if they were judging them based on groups, I think maybe they could have won. But Denali's individual outfit, I think, really held her back in that. Because I don't think it was disco, unless maybe she was like wearing the disco ball and the wet hair didn't match the dress and it really consumed her whole body. And when you're dancing, you know, you want that tighter, more form-fitting outfit, especially if you're doing disco, like Rosé had on, for example, to show off all of your dance moves. And girl, were you gagging when she had her Jan moment on the runway? Like, you could just tell she was like, are you f***ing kidding me? Even though that outfit needed a car wash, her performance still rang my bell, and I think it was hot. Next up, Comme des Garçons on already. This I don't think was intentionally referencing that runway in any way, shape, or form, but it ended up kind of looking like it. She like has framed a little black dress in a box of gray tulle and then paired it with a gray hair. It ages her in a way that just, not good. And let me clarify, I don't think looking old is a bad thing at all. But I think when you're not doing it intentionally, it just looks wrong. Honestly, this look is just boring, and I wanna know, where's the goop, where's the gag? Rosé has that talent, she has that star power. She's like playing it safe, like too safe. If I had to sum this look up in like one sentence, I would say it looks like a moldy Pop-Tart. If you age a rosé too long, it eventually becomes a rat. Next up, you looking for a good time? She'll make you sing. It's Lala Ri. If you are gonna do hooker, girl, do hooker. Do it, because this is kind of like what happened with Rosé. She achieved something that she wasn't necessarily going for, and it just came off unfinished. Like, you know, hang a lip out, rip those fishnets, maybe have money like falling out of your top or out of your coochie because that dress is so short. Like, paint the bottom of your heels with red nail polish or something. Give me a fantasy. Instead, she gave me Forever 21 one little black dress that doesn't even fit her well. It just totally missed the mark for me. Basically, just look like Willem on the runway if you're going for cheap hooker. This is what I'm talking about. If you want to look cheap, bitch, look cheap on purpose, okay? They call me the carousel back at the circus because all the boys want to take a ride. Woo. Anyways, this was a rah-rah rat. In the main challenge, I was like, chugga chugga choo choo, she's on the love train, mama. The dancing was there. It was present. It was amazing. I think maybe the only thing that held her back was her partner, Symone, which we'll get to in a second, and then the boots, mama, the boots. Like, yeah, the dancing was great, but the boots were so bad that I have to give it a rat. Next up, praise, pride, respect, Symone. Ugh. Ugh. I'm fine now. Sorry, I was just gagging on the eleganza. She's doing one of the looks from RuPaul's Back to My Roots music video, and it is so perfectly done. It's an excellent reference. Notice here, Symone doesn't have to rely on like 3 different colors to let you know that it is Symone Couture. Like, this is the type of shit I see and I'm like, I wanna get inside her brain. One of my favorite details on this is that when she turns around, you can see the little G-string with the circle in the middle, tying together the front of the outfit with also that giant circle in the hair. It's just immaculate. And I think actually, the lighting of that RuPaul's Drag Race stage may have robbed you of seeing how amazing her look actually is. Because the dress is all black, you can hardly even tell that it's just completely made of hair braids. I want to see Symone walk every single runway around the world and back again. This look is pressed, curled, and hat. And honestly, her look is maybe what saved her from being bottom 3. I definitely don't think she deserved to lip sync for her life or anything like that, but it was definitely a weak performance of the cast. It was a prize. Now let's talk a little bit about that bottom 2 in that lip sync. Y'all already know I did an exclusive reaction over on my Patreon at patreon.com/BussyQueen. That's my exclusive members only website. So click the link in the description of this video where it says join my Patreon to watch that video right now. Was the outcome of the lip sync correct? I do think so. However, I don't think the bottom 2 was the right bottom 2. It should have been Gottmik versus Kandy. That's my thoughts on that. Let me know what y'all thought down in the comments below. This week on the runway, my hottest hat goes to Symone. Thank you for watching today's video, and to give a special shout out to Katrina and Megan, who've just joined my Patreon family at the hot tier. And Anthony, Bradley, Cameron, Christopher, Craig, Evan, Freddie, JJ, Bear, Claude, Glenn, got the Morbs, Jenny, Gen X, Jonah, Johnny, Kazuko, Kevin, Kiki, and John, Olympus, Mons, Venus, Ron, Sailor, Shane, and Sky, Tina, Timotheus, Timothy, and Tony, who are all supporting me at the hottest hat tier, and Angel, Caroline, JB, Marty, and Cheesy Boy, Matthew, Nurse Luca, and Tom, who are all supporting me at the Bussy Queen Collector tier. I'll see y'all next week. Love ya. Bye.